Cheese sauce. Let's talk about Squid Game 2 because it was just released on Netflix. And let me tell you something. If you thought that the first season was jam-packed with stuff, this season is gonna blow your mind. Now, last night I started binge watching this show and I was up until like 4 o'clock in the morning watching this, binge watching, and I only got to episode 7, but I already have so many thoughts that I needed to share. So let's dive into it. Now, first and foremost, I feel like this season is a million times better than the first season, and that's saying something because I was completely obsessed with the first season. Now, I don't know what it is exactly. I feel like there's just a lot more action, adventure, it's a lot more intense, and it adds a bunch of elements that you really don't expect. So it's just kind of like a thriller, suspense type vibe as well. And on top of everything, I feel like there's a lot more people in this season that I just really am like, oh my God, I hope you win. And every time I see somebody else that is in there, I'm rooting for them. And you just like keep rooting for different people at different times because their stories are so good. They also give you a sneak peek behind what these actual like minions are, and they show you a little bit of their lives and what they're doing in the background. And I feel like that added a whole lot to the show that didn't have before. And spoiler alert, I'm about to tell you guys a little bit something about the show that you may not know if you haven't already started watching it. So if you haven't started watching already, go ahead and pause this video, save it for later, and then come back, and then we can get into it. All right, you guys are gone? Cool. So this season, they added this element where everybody who is a part of the games gets a chance to vote if they want to leave or stay. So they will play the game, and then after the first game, they get to vote. Do you want to stay? Do you want to go? Now that you know that everybody gets pew-pewed if you lose. And they get a chance to vote after every single round. So if they decide not to leave this time, they can leave the next time, and so on and so forth. So what they do is they put this podium out after every single game, and there's an X there if you want to leave, and there's an O there if you want to stay and be a greedy bastard. And they divide the room down the middle where one side is the O's and the other side is the X's, and everybody gets to go up and vote. Once you cast your vote, if you want an X, you go ahead and click the button X and you get that patch X, go to your side of the room, and then everybody knows that you voted that you wanted to leave, and vice versa. Now, I think this is the part of the show that gave me the most anxiety because I already know, I'm like, okay, like if they leave any sooner, then what's going to happen to this show? Because this is literally about the Squid Game. But despite you knowing that, you're like, wait, who's going to vote for this? Who's going to vote for that? And it's just so intense that you just can't stop watching. Now, another spoiler alert, these two people are the ones that stress me out the most in the show, I think. Spoiler alert, she is in there because he is in a bunch of gambling debt, so she decided to play the game so that he won't get for betting all that money and losing it and owing all this money to loan sharks. And he's doing it for the same reason, but also because he's greedy, so they show up and they see each other like, what are you doing here? And she's like, oh, I came here to win the money so you could be free. And he was like, oh, crap. So then they see that they're pew-pewing everyone and they're like, holy shit. One of us is not gonna get out of here alive, it's looking like. And listen, there's a lot of characters in here that you're going to be rooting for or not rooting for, but I'm telling you that this is probably going to be the most stressful for you guys. But anyways, guys, just like I said, there's a bunch of twists and turns in the show, and I haven't actually finished watching it yet, so once I'm done, I'll come back and I'll give you guys more of a breakdown and let you guys know how stressed I am or how many more gray hairs I grew. But in the meantime, I'm curious to know if anybody else has started watching the season and what your thoughts are. Let me know down below in the comments, and don't forget to like and follow for more gossip, chisme, and all things tea.